Does Iron Man 3 fire up its proposals for the start of MCU Phase 2? Welcome to Cinema, where we focus on a film. I'm Josh, this is Simply Cinema. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Iron Man 2. Was it good, was it bad, or somewhere right in the middle? Let me know all that. Let's be respectful of each and every one's opinions, coming from different backgrounds, different things we want from different films. So make sure to like this video if you enjoy it, subscribe if you're not already, join the film culture community where we talk about the love of cinema as a whole. But going right into the synopsis. When Tony Stark's life is torn apart by a terrorist called the Mandarin, he must go through an odyssey rebuilding his life through retribution. And going right into positives, this film offers a lot we haven't really seen from the MCU before or even moving forward, and just what we generally get out of Tony Stark's character as Iron Man. Yes, we've already seen him exposed to the world, and so there's not too big of a focus on what it means to be overshadowed by the world. Yes, there is fans that know Tony Stark is Iron Man, but generally it is down and focused in on where it is headed for the story. Shane Black is a good director for what he brings to all of these characters, directing them in a nice manner. There's a nice, unique soundtrack that really elevates this film that's different from AC/DC. Even though it may carry on some elements, it still contains its own source of substance that delivers on its own music that sings to the magic that this film has to offer. And what I'm talking about when I'm talking about its unique style of storytelling, Shane Black brings a trauma story for Iron Man leading off from the Avengers that works effectively for the nature of what you expect for the character at this time, going up into that wormhole in the Avengers, and what it means coming back down to Earth, knowing about all of these gods, aliens, and other dimensions. It's quotable for the nature of how it goes about its line delivery. Robert Downey Jr. is fantastic, and Don Cheadle is pretty good for his friend. I'm still preferring Terrence Howard as the War Machine, or knowing him as his friend Rhodey. What we get out of each of these characters, and Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts, we get a little bit more out of her character as Tony's love interest, and then we get Maya, who is this ex from Tony, and pulling back events from his past before Iron Man, before what we get out of the MCU, knowing who these characters are and all that. Guy Pearce plays great role as this villain for this role, and Ben Kingsley really good for the nature of playing what the Mandarin is and the character and nature of what it means to really present a threat as a terrorist. The way the story flows throughout, it's good for the nature of breaking it out back into different acts and taking Tony Stark and bringing him down out of his suit, out of the strength that he is great, is a really great arc for his character. We've already seen him go through this sense of humility through Iron Man 1, and in Iron Man 2, he goes about different things from his past, but this is breaking him down, taking him away from his suit for a good amount of the film. And so what that brings and elevates his character, while also going off of the Avengers, goes about a great arc that I love to see. And as a fan of scientist characters, what they digest from him and what he works with the little that he has, takes upon all of the arcs he's gone through in the past and builds upon his character that much more based on the nature of what we know about him, the substance that delivers on him, and going against the opponents delivers on some great natures for what we're establishing with his character, even moving forward. And what that means for the MCU is a good start and makes sense for being right after the Avengers, almost being an epilogue of sorts to that film, and establishing Tony in his own grounds while also building on the substance to what we have going forward, but being still self-contained for the nature of how it is building on the characters as a whole. And we even get more out of Jon Favreau playing Happy Hogan. Maybe that meets and plays into the lot that Jon Favreau is no longer the director for the Iron Man films. playing him in as a bit of a character works wonders to where we're progressing forward with his character, especially once he's involved with the Iron Man films and all that substance, and just taking all these different ideas, especially within the trauma of Tony's character, really centers in on his character more than it seems to really have done before, not feeling like it's building up to something specific and being a lot more self-contained for the nature of what it has to tell, for its themes and messages. And that really works wonders to what I am really taking out of the action and where it leads up to with its final battle. Delivers on some of the best Iron Man moments, not just at the end, but progressing throughout the film. And that final battle, that final moments of the film, delivers on some powerful, heartbreaking moments that can really deliver on this being a defining Iron Man film, even if it isn't necessarily the end of Iron Man as a whole, what his character still progresses going on. What this means for the arc of this Iron Man trilogy does a lot for what this film character has to offer. Yes, we could have gotten more films out of this character moving forward that are solely focused on him, but from what we know is going on moving forward, I think this was a great way to end off at least the solo films, since we did not get any moving forward, not knowing what ideas they would have come up for if they had an Iron Man 4. And so it delivers well on its substance, knowing what we got as a whole, and getting Harvey as this kid as well that sort of aids him along the way. Just good, great performance. Ty Simpkins, great at playing Harvey as well, and just has its different twists along the way with where it takes our characters and the story as a whole. Moving right into the mixed elements, there's certain aspects of the film, certain ideas that feel off, that can make it feel different from the MCU, which for me is a really positive substance, but it can really be interesting as a film once you're placing it within the MCU. It doesn't feel like it's carrying on too much plot lines like Iron Man 2, but there's certain characters that don't feel fully fleshed out with what we're getting from the bad guys, the villains, the Mandarin. It's an interesting twist what we get out of that, but it's not going full force on what it's establishing for what that means, what we could have gotten if it was the true Mandarin in its full glory. And getting Guy Pearce's character, we don't seem to fully flesh out him, what his formidable ideas look like, when we're really establishing the Mandarin, or the actor for the Mandarin, to be putting on this grand performance that seems more menacing once we believe he is the villain. And so there goes about a different mixed aspects of what you're feeling throughout the film, especially upon rewatch, knowing what's going on and how that makes you feel later on within the film. I personally love certain aspects that play along with it, but it also has the ideas of what if this was a true Mandarin? What if we got more of Guy Pearce playing his own character, being the spotlight of the show? His plan is great with the manipulation it pulls off for throwing the characters off and everything that is going about with the characters, and it has his proper motivation and style that showed there's a plan at play. But there's certain things that go about along the way that's not fully mannered in a way that really sucks you into certain aspects of what we're getting out of the villains as a whole, when we're really focusing on what Iron Man is building as a character. And Harvey playing the kid, we don't seem to get a lot of him moving forward. We see him pop up again at Tony Stark's funeral, but we unfortunately seem to have left him out of certain things that we could have established moving forward, learning more of their connection moving forward. Obviously, he didn't play a huge part of this film, and so that's where I feel like we could have gotten a little bit more of him out of this film to know why he's so relevant later on, or to have gotten him more within films going on, that would work wonders to what this film means as an MCU film and having him as a character more often. And so therefore, I don't really have any negatives for this film, giving it a rating of 8.5 out of 10. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of Iron Man 2. Is it good, bad, or somewhere right in the middle? Give me all your thoughts, your general suggestions and ideas that you think of this film as a whole. We all have differing opinions, different hot takes, or anything along of that into that. So make sure to like this video if you enjoy it, subscribe if you're already, join in the film culture community where we talk about the love of cinema as a whole. So that's just all. Make sure to do yourself a favor and go watch a movie.